Vi behöver prata lite om krypto. Grejen med krypto är så här att det finns väldigt mycket som är fishy om krypto. Inte bara typ om man satsar på krypto eller du investerar i krypto. Problemet med krypto är att det finns många så kallade exchanges. Exchanges, det är bara ett nytt form av det är bara ett nytt ord för bank. Och grejen är att det är väldigt många som lägger sina pengar eller lägger väldigt mycket utav sina krypto i de här exchangesna. Den nya grejen de har dock gjort är att när de börjar fallera så har de börjat säga att det var aldrig du som ägde de här kryptorna, det var vi. Så du investerar i vårat företag, men du vet, du fick alla de här kryptorna så då kommer man inte kunna kräva ut dem för att du vet, det var vi som ägde de kryptorna och bla bla. Det finns väldigt mycket shit där. Nu kommer vi gå lite mer till det mer obehagliga av det här. Var de två investors hade en idé och den bryter ner genom den marknadsekonomiska modellen av krypto, så som vi har sett att du vet den bryter ner. Om de försvinner har de verkligen försvunnit eller har de dött? Det är där vi spelar nu. Place your bets.
Been collecting from all the creditors that have been appearing trying to get their money. And crucially, the founders, Su Zhu and Kyle Davies of Three Arrows Capital, are nowhere to be found, which, if you ask me, is pretty good timing because they just went bankrupt. They now owe people hundreds of millions to billions of dollars. But here's the thing, it wasn't always like this. Only months ago, these guys were the golden boys of crypto. Hell, 10 years ago, nobody even knew who these guys were. They were just a couple of traders in Tokyo working at Credit Suisse. So how did they go from that and transform themselves into one of the world's largest crypto hedge funds and then destroy it all in only a couple of months? Well,
dead or not?
Today, we're going to find out. It was 10 years ago that the founders of Three Arrows Capital decided they were tired of making money for someone else and quit their jobs to start their own hedge fund. They claim to have mostly used their own capital to start, a modest sum.
So we started with around $1 million of personal capital.
And almost immediately, they were very successful. Despite not having enough money to play in the big leagues that they wanted to get to, they weren't worried. Three Arrows Capital was confident in two things: their ability to make money and their ability to borrow it if they couldn't make it.
Yeah, we had one period where we desperately needed to raise capital. It was prime brokers. And basically, one day they came to us and said, you need to have almost twice as much money as you have. And my mentality at the time was, well, just give me like 2 months. I think we made 100% return our first month and a half. Give me 2 more months, I'll make it for you. And they were like, no, in 2 weeks, you have to have that money or I close your account. And so I had to get on the
All right. Så när man säger så här, okej, om 2 månader så har jag växt kapitalet så mycket som ni vill ha det. Och de säger, nej, inom 2 månader annars stänger det. Det är en maffia. Du har med maffia att göra.
phone. I raised it in a weekend, but I had to get on the phone. I called prop trading firms in Chicago, and I got one to wire us the funds by Monday.
And this attitude of pure confidence, either I can make you 100% in 2 months or I can go borrow it on a weekend, that was just kind of how they operated. And this attitude might sound arrogant, but because they were winning, it was honestly kind of contagious and earned them quite the reputation. They became really popular for their super bullish attitudes and became popular for promoting something called the super cycle in crypto. The super cycle was an idea pushed by their founder, Su Zhu, who believed that unlike most markets, which go through periods of boom and bust, bull and bear markets, crypto was different. They were on the verge of mass adoption, and because of that, crypto wasn't going to go through a bear market again. He says in a tweet explaining it, this is not yet another cycle, it is the end of cycles. The one where after Bitcoin flippins gold, it doesn't flip back. The one where Web3 supersedes Web 2. And he would publicly say that he had tremendous conviction in this idea that things were only going to go up, and thought anyone who had low conviction was, quote, gross, to be honest. So I want you to ask yourself, what would you do if you're on a hot streak of trades, you're not afraid to borrow money, and you're convicted that the number's just going to go up? Well, you might do what Three Arrows Capital did, which was borrow as much money as you can and dump it into bullish crypto plays. You know, the Michael Saylor idea.
Go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it.
Only they didn't do that because mortgaging your house is for poor people, but they did something a little more clever. Three Arrows Capital went to all of the biggest crypto lenders in town, from Celsius to Voyager and more, you know, the people we've been hearing about lately. And they told them all, hey, you guys know us, we're successful traders, we're low risk, and we need a loan. It's sort of the equivalent of going all around town and getting as many credit cards as you can and maxing them all out. And by the end, Three Arrows Capital had borrowed from 33 different lenders, a total of not one, not two, but $3.5 billion. And of course, the question is, what are they going to do with it? Well, they made one of the biggest bets of their entire life. They were going super long on the super cycle theory, except this time, it turns out they were wrong.
Crypto, or digital currencies, have now lost $2 trillion in value.
Holy crap. I literally just got wiped out.
The most destructive wealth event in the history of crypto, with probably about $50 billion just wiped out.
I think this is like a cascading effect, right? And I don't think it's honestly over yet.
When the crypto markets crashed in May of 2022, this led to a massive crisis for Three Arrows Capital because all of a sudden, they weren't the profits that they thought they were. They didn't see it coming. Kyle Davies says this in an interview. The Terra Luna situation caught them very off guard, and their lenders noticed. All of a sudden, they start approaching them saying, hey, we're a little worried here. Can you get us our money back? And Kyle Davies tried to reassure them. He sent them a paper saying they had the money. I mean, it wasn't exactly a proof or anything. It was a one-page document that says they had a net asset value of $2.3 billion, which isn't much proof at all. And this was on May 13th, and it bought them about 5 days before someone realized that you can just make up numbers on papers and send it to people. And so on May 18th, some of their creditors approached them again, this time blockchain.com. They called Kyle up and said, hey, well, maybe you can give us some of our money back. And allegedly, Kyle told blockchain.com that if they recalled any of their loans, Three Arrows Capital would boycott all their products, basically threatening them. Because of this, blockchain.com decided to give them a longer time to repay. Fast forward another month, Kyle's trying to borrow 5,000 Bitcoin from one lender to try to pay a margin call to another lender, except he doesn't get it. And it's at this point that Kyle finally starts admitting to some of the lenders that if crypto markets keep declining, they wouldn't be okay. So naturally, what do all these lenders do? Well, they panic and try to get their money out.
Like, alltså, det är liksom så här som du har lånegivare. Jag tänker att många av oss, inte alla, var med om 2009-kraschen, men grejen är så att när lånegivare börjar kräva tillbaka sina lån för att du vet, de drabbas av panik av att de inte ska få tillbaka sina pengar. Då går kostnaderna upp och så försöker man få tillbaka sina pengar. Jag tror inte du kan sms-låna 5000 bitcoins, men bra idé, Granstedt. Grejen är att det som händer just nu då här är ju samma sak. Men det kommer inte vara det som är svinigast. Du vet att ett företag försöker överleva, inte det som är jobbigast.
But this time is different. Instead of picking up the phone as usual with their confident responses of, oh, we have the money, or if we don't have the money, we're going to double our money in 2 months anyways, there's no answer at all. Instead, all they get is this. A tweet from Suzu. We are in the process of communicating with relevant parties and are fully committed to working this out. But the insiders knew this wasn't true. Three Arrows Capital wasn't in touch with anyone. It was like they had vanished off the face of the earth. One of their close associates said they had ghosted people. And because of this, these lenders, who now are left with $3.5 billion missing, now started to collapse themselves and have their own problems. We've already talked about this with Voyager and Celsius, just to name a few. And their last hope is to figure out where in the world these guys are with all of their money. And they could truly be anywhere, because as they declared bankruptcy, rumors started to come out that maybe Three Arrows Capital had been a little naughty with their money. According to reports, the duo had bought a series of mansions and a $50 million super yacht, which, according to a signed affidavit, this yacht was intended to be larger than any yacht owned by any Singapore billionaire, which is a strange flex coming from guys who now weren't billionaires. And since I know you're probably curious what a $50 million super yacht looks like, if you're okay with it, we'll take a tour of it as I explain what happens next. So if you just come aboard for a second, the 52 steel Sandler
Vänta. Vi måste tagga in Kringlan här. Kringlan måste se där. I alla fall, vi kollar vidare lite på det här.
Get 52 meters of stunning views and swimming pools, which is all allegedly purchased with borrowed money. Top it all off with stunning dining rooms, a full gym. But in my opinion, the main attraction here is this 2019 tweet from their new owner, Su. Quote, climate change talk is cheap, but sailing the seven seas on your yacht as an international fugitive is expensive. It's almost like he was dropping hints the whole time. But like I said, we don't even know if he's on this yacht as an international fugitive or if he's in one of his other super mansions. Because let's not forget, when he wasn't on this yacht, he was busy living in a multi-million-dollar bungalow that his 3-year-old owned, which I guess I haven't explained yet. Su is the father of a multi-millionaire baby. This is all because there's a trust in his name.
Alltså, vad är en multimillionaire baby? Är det bara någon som är baby som bara har
that owns their multi-million-dollar bungalow. But obviously, Su bought this house in the 3-year-old's name, so why do it this way? Well, speculation says that bankruptcy courts probably can't get access to it if it's in a trust. And that's not all. Three Arrows Capital has hired lawyers that have been allegedly advising them on how to help shield those assets from creditors, according to this signed affidavit, which combined with the fact that nobody knows where these guys are, things are looking pretty dim. And all of this is just so sad, in my opinion, not just because they might get away with it, but because all this money that they owe isn't just a number on a screen, billions of dollars, whatever. It's really the bill that's coming due for regular investors, all due to the arrogance of two traders and the carelessness of these lending platforms.
Okej, jag vill göra en liten slutpoäng idag. Jag vill ändå göra en liten slutpoäng idag. Kolla här. Du kan vara en månad försäkrad. Eller en månad försenad på din räkning. Och du får sota för det för resten av ditt liv. Jag vill bara att du tänker på det här. Och när du tänker på det här, om du är någon som kapital investerar, någon som kapital försvarar kapital på något sätt. Jag vill bara att du tänker på det. Jag vill att du tänker på att de kommer att straffa dig. Och du är inte skyldig vad? Du är skyldig 200 spänn. Jag kommer in på TV. Men vad tycker ni om det? Tycker ni det är rättvist? Och jag vill verkligen att ni lämnar den här streamen med det. Det är folk som är skyldiga miljarder av pengar. Men du som är skyldig några hundra, du jagas till benen.